You've been involved with a lot of different charity organizations as part of wrestling. I want to touch on that. I know you've been very involved with Make a Wish,
Mhm.
and what made you want to? Let's talk about how you got involved with that.
Well, at the time, there was a new company starting up in Nashville called Crossfire. And basically, what this ended up being was they were doing these shows down at the fairgrounds, which was the historic building in Nashville that was built for professional wrestling way back in the day by Nick Goulas. And it's gone now. They tore it down. That was a sad day. They put up the soccer stadium in its place. But man, I'm sure glad I got to experience it. When I first came to town and was going to those TNA shows down at the fairgrounds, I tell my brother, I'm gonna work this. I'm gonna work in this building someday. I'm gonna find a way to do something. We'd look at Jeremy Borash, who was doing the ring announcing at TNA at the time, and I was like, I know I could do that. I know I could do something like that. I'm gonna do it here someday. And eventually, when Crossfire came to be, I got that opportunity. That's where I got to be in the ring with Mick Foley and Bret Hart, Roddy Piper, and all those guys. One of the coolest aspects of Crossfire Wrestling was that they were very closely involved with Make a Wish of Tennessee. And what that meant was that there was always an entire section of the crowd that was roped off and saved for children that were a part of that. And so what you're looking at here is kids that are fighting for their lives and are struggling. And they're just little kids, man. It's heartbreaking. But to put them in their seats with their families and let them forget about everything going on in their lives, the battles, the struggles, all that, to let them forget about it for 3 hours and watch this epic wrestling show with 4,000 to 5,000 other fans in attendance with them, and to be in the middle of the ring and be a part of that, it was outstanding. It was outstanding. I was so proud to be able to help with that. My friend Bubba Perry had a big part in the Make a Wish of Middle Tennessee, and a huge part in getting those kids to be there. And honestly, I look back at it now and I could totally feel it at the time that those kids were the heart and the soul and the spirit of that whole promotion. Like, them being there raised everybody up a little bit more. So all they were going through, you'd say, well, whatever's going on ain't nothing compared to that. We have to give these kids something spectacular. We need to go above and beyond to show these kids the time of their lives here tonight. And we would do all kinds of cool stuff with them. There is a wrestler named Chris Michaels that is a pretty dang well-known name around here. And I remember one time he was wrestling Kid Cash, and I not too long ago got to tell him this story for the first time, and it meant something to him. So sometimes what I would do, because I'm ring announcing, I'd grab the ring bell and I'd get into the kids in the section with the kids, and I'd sit down by a couple of them and I'd let them ring the bell to start the match, to end the match. So I'd say, okay, we got to watch for the referee. When he goes like this, ding, ding, you hit it. You ready? All right, here he goes. There he is. And that kid would ding, ding the bell. And I'd move over to the next one. I go, okay, now we got to watch. When the ref 1, 2, 3 calls for the bell, you got to hit it. Ding, ding, ding. And I'd let that kid do it. So I sat down to this little girl. She's got a nose tube in, got her little tank next to her and everything. You can tell she's in her, limited time she's been on Earth, just a little bit of time she's been here. She's probably been through more than bad times than I ever have in all my old ass years of being here. And so the cool thing about this that night was I knew, because I know who's going to win the match, but she don't know who's going to win the match. So it's Kid Cash. He's the bad guy. Everybody hates Kid Cash. And Chris Michaels. And everybody's cheering for him. Everybody wants to see him give it to the loudmouth Kid Cash and get a big victory. I know how the match is going to end. So I'm talking to her. And as we're talking, we're watching the match together. We're watching wrestling together like a couple of old friends. And I say, man, Kid Cash is beating him up. And she's like, I don't like that. And so Kid Cash is just putting the boots to him, just beating him and beating him, beating him. And I said to her, if I know anything about Chris Michaels, is that no matter how bad this gets, he's not going to give up. And she's like, yeah, yeah. I said, boy, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. And she's like, no, no, it's not looking good. I was like, he's not going to give up. He's not going to give up. And then as the match progresses, Chris Michaels wins the match. I say, there it is. 1, 2, 3. The referee gives signal. She rings the bell. And I say to her, just like Chris Michaels, if you don't give up, you can win if you don't give up. And it was moments like that, yeah, oh yeah, I'm in the ring with Bret the Hitman Hart. But honestly, that don't mean nothing to me looking back as compared to a moment like that.